Good evening, everyone. So, Virgo, the magnitude of positive shift that's organizing itself to arrive in your life is so significant, so undeniable, so visible to everyone around you that you won't be able to minimize it, dismiss it, or pretend it's not happening, even if your patterns of self doubt and unworthiness try to convince you it's temporary or undeserved. Because this blessing carries weight that forces acknowledgement from you, from people who know you, from anyone paying attention to trajectory of your life. This isn't subtle improvement. This is transformation, quantum leap, before and after moment. And too big to ignore means it affects multiple areas simultaneously, not just one thing getting slightly better. Multiple domains of your life upgrading at once in ways that create compounding positive effects. Let me describe what blessing of this magnitude actually looks like when it's about to land. First, characteristic. It's disproportionate to your current circumstances. You're operating at certain level, certain income, certain visibility, certain relationship status, certain life quality, and you're about to receive access to completely different level, not through slow climbing, through leap that bypasses intermediate steps. Job offer that's multiple positions above where you currently are. Income increase that's multiples, not percentages. Relationship that's completely different quality than what you've experienced before. Opportunity that positions you among people operating at level you've only observed from distance. The jump feels you-earned if you're measuring by traditional metrics. But life doesn't always operate on traditional metrics. Sometimes preparation meets opportunity in ways that create results that seem disproportionate, but that are actually perfectly aligned with work you've been doing that others couldn't see. Second characteristic, it's visible. Previous blessings in your life might have been internal personal growth, emotional healing, spiritual development, important but not obvious to external observers. But this blessing has external evidence that people can see. Money that changes your lifestyle visibly, relationship that people witness, success that gets recognized publicly, transformation that's obvious not just to you but to anyone paying attention, and that visibility creates its own complexity. Because being seen means being evaluated, being talked about, having opinions directed at you, dealing with jealousy or judgment or unsolicited input. But it also means being celebrated, being validated, having success acknowledged, getting credit you deserve. Third characteristic, it creates momentum. First blessing arrives. That blessing creates conditions for second blessing. Second creates conditions for third positive changes. Compound. Example, career breakthrough leads to increased income. Increased income creates confidence. Confidence makes you more attractive romantically. New relationship provides emotional support. That support allows you to take bigger professional risks. Bigger risks lead to bigger rewards. Each improvement facilitates next improvement in ways that create upward spiral. Fourth characteristic, it requires you to grow into it. The blessing is slightly bigger than your current capacity. Not so big you can't handle it, but big enough that handling it requires stretching. You'll need to develop new skills, new confidence, new ways of operating, new self-concept that includes being person who has this thing you're receiving, and that growth, that becoming person who can hold blessing instead of losing it through self-sabotage is actually the real blessing. The external gift is just catalyst for internal transformation. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider what area of your life feels most ready for major breakthrough versus incremental improvement. Maybe career has been stuck despite your competence. You've been ready for leap for a while, but opportunity hasn't presented itself. That's where breakthrough lands opportunity that matches your actual capability instead of your current position. Or romantic life has been empty or frustrating. You've been ready for real partnership but haven't met right person or circumstances haven't aligned. That's where blessing arrives, meeting someone or existing connection finally deepening into what you've wanted. Or financial situation has been constrained despite working hard and managing carefully. You've been ready for relief, but income hasn't increased proportionally. That's where shift happens. Money arriving through expected or unexpected channel or creative expression has been suppressed or undervalued. You've been ready for recognition, but visibility hasn't come. That's where transformation occurs, work being seen and appreciated at scale. Or health has been struggling despite efforts. You've been ready for improvement, but body hasn't cooperated. That's where healing manifests, symptoms shifting, energy returning, wellness establishing. Wherever the readiness exceeds the results, that's where insane blessing is most likely to land. This reflection invites you to consider what would change in your daily life if major blessing arrived in your area of greatest readiness. Be specific, not just I'd feel better, but actual concrete changes. How would you spend time? Where would you live? What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? How would relationships shift? Visualization helps you prepare, makes blessing feel real as possibility instead of just fantasy, creates mental and emotional space for receiving. Specific forms blessing might take, and watch for these, because your job is recognizing blessing when it appears, opportunity arriving without you seeking it, offer, invitation, introduction, opening you didn't create through active pursuit, but that presents itself because of positioning you've done. Your Virgo response might be, but I didn't apply for this, but I'm not perfectly qualified, but the timing isn't what I planned. Blessing response is, this is perfect, even though I didn't orchestrate it. I'm saying yes. Person entering who elevates your life significantly. Mentor, partner, collaborator, friend. Someone whose presence creates access, support, opportunity, or love that fundamentally improves your reality, not just nice addition. Game-changing connection. Recognition that opens doors. Award, feature, viral moment, recommendation from influential person. Visibility that creates opportunities you couldn't create for yourself. Your work, your talent, your value finally being seen by people with resources to reward it. Financial windfall or increase, raise, bonus, inheritance, sale, investment return, debt forgiveness, income jump. Money arriving in amount that creates genuine shift, not just temporary relief, healing or breakthrough, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Problem that's been chronic suddenly resolving, stuck pattern suddenly breaking, limitation that felt permanent suddenly dissolving, relocation or transition, moving to place you've wanted to live, changing life phase, graduating to next level, shift that repositions you in environment that better supports who you're becoming, or combination, multiple blessings arriving simultaneously, creating compounding positive effect that's undeniable. This reflection invites you to consider which form of blessing would feel most miraculous if it arrived in next few months. Your answer reveals what you're hoping for, even if you haven't admitted it fully. And interestingly, what you're hoping for is often aligned with what's actually coming. Because authentic desire often precedes manifestation. You want it because it's energetically approaching, not randomly. What you need to do between now and blessing arriving to maximize outcome, stop blocking through unworthiness beliefs. If blessing is coming, but you fundamentally believe you don't deserve it, you'll sabotage it unconsciously through self destructive choices or rejection of opportunity. Address limiting beliefs now. Good things don't happen to me. I don't deserve abundance. Success will make me target. I'm not worthy of love, money, recognition. Those beliefs are lies, but they're active lies that will undermine blessing if not addressed. Create space for new, physically, temporally, emotionally, mentally. Don't be so committed to current reality that blessing would have nowhere to fit. Clear clutter, clear calendar of non essential commitments, clear relationships that drain without serving, clear mental loops that keep you stuck in old story. Practice receiving smaller goods without deflecting. Every time something good happens, compliment, opportunity, kindness, gift, receive it, say thank you, let it land. Don't deflect or minimize. Build receiving muscle through small reps so when big blessing arrives, receiving feels natural, not foreign. Tell someone you trust about readiness for blessing, not to create pressure, but to make it real by speaking it. To have witness who can help you recognize blessing when it arrives and who can support you in receiving it fully, and prepare practically for likely scenarios. If career blessing seems likely, update resume and LinkedIn even if you're not actively job searching. If relationship blessing seems likely, address attachment wounds now. If financial blessing seems likely, research wealth management. Preparation isn't forcing, it's creating conditions that allow smooth reception when blessing arrives instead of scrambling to handle it. This reflection invites you to consider what's one specific preparation action you could take this week. Maybe clearing physical space, maybe addressing limiting belief through journaling or therapy, maybe updating professional materials, maybe having conversation with trusted person about your hopes and readiness. Small action creates momentum, signals to universe or to your own psyche. I'm ready. I'm open. I'm preparing to receive. Why insane? Specifically because normal language doesn't capture magnitude. Good thing happening doesn't convey scale. Improvement doesn't convey transformation. Blessing alone doesn't convey the undeniable, too big to ignore quality. Insane means beyond what you imagined possible, exceeding your capacity to have predicted or orchestrated, so significant that it reorients your entire life around it. Not subtle, not questionable, obvious, massive, transformative. And that scale is what makes it blessing that forces growth. Because receiving something this big requires becoming someone capable of holding it. Your current self might not be able to sustain this blessing, but you're about to become self who can, and that becoming is the real gift. What happens after blessing arrives, because arrival is just beginning, adjustment period where you're learning to operate at new level. New income requires new money management. New relationship requires new intimacy skills. New visibility requires new boundaries. New opportunity requires new competencies. Don't expect to be expert immediately. Allow learning curve. Allow mistakes. Allow growth through doing, not just through preparing. Identity shift as you integrate being person who has this thing. You're not person who wants X anymore. You're person who has X. That shift affects how you see yourself and how others see you. Some people handle identity shift smoothly. Others struggle with imposter syndrome or guilt or fear of losing what they've gained. Either is normal. Relationship changes as some people celebrate your blessing while others feel threatened by it. True friends remain. Fair weather friends reveal themselves. New people enter who operate at your new level. Let relationships reorganize naturally. Don't desperately cling to connections that no longer fit. Don't reject genuine celebration out of false modesty. Responsibility to steward blessing wisely, to use it well, to grow it instead of squandering it, to let it serve not just you, but people you care about and causes you believe in. Blessing isn't just for your benefit, it's for impact you'll create through having resources, visibility, platform, love, health, whatever the blessing provides. You remain in complete control of whether you receive blessing when it arrives or whether you sabotage it through unworthiness, fear, or refusal to grow into it. You can open or defend, prepare or resist, trust or doubt. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has created both excitement and disbelief. Excitement because, yes, you want this. Disbelief because insane blessing feels too big for someone like you. Whatever you're feeling, honor it. Take what resonates. Softly release the rest. Trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. If insane blessing arrived next month, what's the first thing you'd do? And would that choice serve your long-term thriving or just provide temporary relief? Drop it in the comments. And what limiting belief would you need to release now to be able to fully receive and keep major blessing? What's about to happen in your life is insane. This blessing will be too big to ignore. Because magnitude exceeds incremental improvement, visibility makes it undeniable to you and everyone around you, momentum compounds across multiple life areas, and scale requires you to grow into capacity to receive and steward it wisely, and your job is preparing through addressing limiting beliefs, creating space, practicing receiving, and taking practical actions that signal readiness, not eventually, within months, some within weeks. Trust yourself with this trust that you're worthy of insane blessing. Trust that preparation creates conditions for smooth receiving. Trust that you can handle growth required. Trust that blessing serves purposes beyond just your immediate comfort. See you in the next one, and listen when blessing this big arrives. Don't minimize it or deflect it or immediately create crisis to balance it. Just receive it, build on it, steward it wisely. Let it transform your life and the lives you touch. Stay ready, stay worthy, stay open. Your insane blessing is organizing itself. Prepare to receive it.